today we're going to be making samosas. So let's get started. In this bowl I've chopped some onion and some mushroom together. It was very easy to do. I used my wooden board with the nails. I've already shown you how to do onions, but I will do a video on vegetables because I'm planning on doing a stew at some point. I'd just like to say thank you very much for all the support I've had with my videos. I'm really surprised at how many people have actually watched my videos. The comments that I've gotten on both on Facebook and on the actual videos have been fantastic, and thank you so much. It's really encouraging. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to pour a little drop of oil into my pan. I don't need a lot of oil. We're not using meat in this recipe, and I'm using my wok as usual because otherwise I throw stuff all over the place. So in my first bowl I have mushrooms and a large onion. Now I'm going to pop those into my pan and I'm going to saute those. In this bowl I have, I'll put the measurements up as I'm speaking, but I have in here a teaspoon of curry powder, a teaspoon of curcumin, we call it in France, but it's known as turmeric in a lot of places. It's really good for you, turmeric, and it gives this a beautiful colour on the inside. I have salt, I have pepper, I also have a goodly bit of garlic, because garlic's actually good for you as well, the garlic and the onion, especially if you have blood problems. They smell beautiful already, and we've hardly started. Now I'm going to put those in because what I want to do is cook off these spices along with my onions and my mushrooms. And we're just going to cook these down till they're softened and the spices have started to release their beautiful flavours and aromatics. As you can see, I've not put too much oil in here. I don't want much at all. I've just used regular vegetable oil in here. If you wanted to, you have some, you could use some ghee, which would be very nice. That would help add to the flavour. I did anticipate making some, but I've not actually got round to doing it yet. Okay, we're just going for these to soften down. We don't want them burnt. We don't want them totally cooked at this stage, just softened nicely. So, once we've got these softened down a tad, and oh, the smell is fantastic. I'm going to pour in, it's about 100 mils of soy milk. I'm going with soy milk today because I would quite like a healthier option. I make an awful lot of things with cream, so we're going totally vegetarian today. Also, there's a lot of ingredients here. If you have had a stroke or you have had a heart attack or you're on a diet that you need to be careful, today's recipe is for you. Okay, I've poured that milk in. Now, all I want that to do now is reduce down and make me a bit of a creamy sauce. I need to do nothing else to this now. Okay, once you've nearly got rid of all your fluid, I'm going to pop into that chopped potato. Now I think I've got about 300 grams on here, but I will definitely put the correct amount up as I'm editing this video. Now all I've done is I've cut these potatoes into very small cubes. I brought them to the boil on the stove, and then I cooked them for about 5 minutes, no more than that for these little cubes, and then left them in the water, and then I checked them from time to time just to make sure that they were cooked. there's nothing worse than having a samosa that's got potato in it that hasn't been cooked. So that's the way I did these. I suggest you just take one out and taste it, and make sure that it's of the consistency you want it to be. Doesn't matter if you cook them too much, because actually it's better to have them cooked slightly too much, so that you can mince these, mash these, excuse me, and you could actually use mashed potato. Right, I'm now going to transfer these into a bowl. Oh, look at that, all in one go. And I'm now going to leave this just to cool down, because I can't put it piping hot like this into my pastry. So I'll see you when this has cooled down. We're ready to go here. I've got a couple of wire racks in case I need them. I've also got a tray with some paper on, the self-rised paper. Here I've got the mix that we made earlier. Oh, a bit come out there. And I'm using my very small ice cream scoop to assist me with this. I've also made, it's like glue. I can remember making this at school with flour on water to do cutting and sticking, which was, it's really odd, but that's what we used to do when we didn't have glue. So I've made some of that, and I've got a pastry brush in there. I'm using brick pastry for this, and you can buy that readily in any shops. It is actually quite easy to make if you've got the patience for it. I may well do some at some point, because it's actually easier to make than I thought it was. Anyway, we've got a beautiful mix together here, and I've got round brick, which is not ideal for me, to be fair. I would sooner it was in strips, because it's a lot easier to do. So what I'm going to have to do is make this more manageable. So I'm going to fold these together so it's made my long strip, which is what I like. Now try and get each end as near as the same as you possibly can. Then going to put some of my filling in this corner over here. As you can see, all the turmeric's coming out and colouring that. Now this is where it does get a bit tricky, but I'm sure it will be fine. I've got some kitchen roll here because I'm going to get in a bit of a mess otherwise. So taking the corner over to there, try and square it up as much as you can. There we go. Now I'm going to bring it up here. Now you can see your pocket open at the side here. If you want to put a tad more in, do that. And I do. I'm going to try and squeeze a bit more in and use my fingers to push it. Right, now we're going to go over to this side, making sure it's sealed at the bottom here. Then we're going to come up like this and turn it on its side. Then I'm going to put some of my glue on and make sure that I've covered all of this bit here, because this is what's going to seal this together. And then just pull it up and over the top and make sure you've got a nice seal there. There we go. The hardest job, I think, with this is getting the papers apart. So what I do is this. Use your tin and something quite heavy Okay, so we're going now to take it off of here, and the only way I can do this is to try and peel some back like this, and it does take time, I'm afraid. Once you've got a bit going, you're alright. There we go. Now I'm just going to leave that like that, and again something heavy so that you can start pulling it away from the paper, because things like this are not made for people with one hand, are they? Let's face it. Whoa, there we go, and it's off. Now all I need to do is get rid of the paper. Okay, so luckily this is more or less the same size as my circle here, so I can do quite well. Okay, we're moving in, pushing it down. We're moving over to there, and I just want to try and make sure I've straightened it up so it's not too lopsided top and bottom, because that's not ideal. Okay, we're going to scoop a piece of our stuff in and then shape it. And this is what you need your tissue for, or you're going to do what I did over there and get it all over your beautiful mix. There we go. That's actually gone better than the last one. With a filling in here, and I'm going to come up to the top, and then we're going to go over to the side. So we've got like a real cone going on here. Then I'm going to come up here, keeping it nice and square, and then we're going to use our glue and my finger to make sure that I've got that completely covered before I pull it up, stick it down. There we go. There's another one. I'll do one more. I need to wipe this down because otherwise my pastry is going to stick to this. I'm going to do it that way because these have got a bit screwed up in the packet, haven't they? Right, there we go. So, into the centre or over, making a nice straight edge. Then we're going to come across and make a nice tubey effect. In goes our filling, and there is quite a lot of filling here. I've got 2 packs of brick, and this will easily use both of those. Okay, here we go. We've got to try and make this triangular. So let's just get it there to start with, and what we're aiming for is to try and get that edge together there. Could have done with a tad more filling in here really, couldn't I? Keep it across there. You're just literally following straight lines there. Now I looked online everywhere for how to do samosas one-handed. Can't find a single thing. Certainly can't find anything to do around. Okay, so I have now 16 samosas ready to cook. Now I could have got another 8 with a mix that I made up, which would have been a lot better really. However, I'm now going to cook a couple of these. Now you've got a number of ways of cooking these, and quite often on the brick packet it will tell you how long to cook them for. However, I could deep fry these, but I've chosen not to. This is quite a healthy snack or starter at the moment. There's hardly any fat in that at all. All we've got are a few potatoes, but you can swap those out if you're not into carbs. the mushrooms, the turmeric, the onion, garlic, etc. make this really, really gorgeous. So I'm not going to deep fry these, although I could. I'm going to put these in my air fryer, and what I'm going to do is just spritz them with a little oil either side, and then I'm going to put them in my air fryer. I'm going to try 7 minutes at 180 and see how they do. I'll let you know when I'm done how long they took to cook. You could pan fry them as well, don't forget. But I'm trying to avoid deep frying and pan frying if I can at the moment. Because I think it's the more healthy option to air fry. So I'll see you when some of these are cooked. Well, here are my beautiful samosas. I am so pleased with these. It is so hard to do some of these things, or find a way to do some of these things with one hand. I absolutely scoured the internet to see if anybody had posted a video on how to put samosas together with one hand. Not on your Nelly. And this is really why I'm doing these videos. I try and find a way to do it. May not be the textbook way to do it, but at the end of the day, look at these. These are really quite presentable. So, without further ado, gonna be tasting these. Listen to that pastry. I'm going to eat both of these. They are absolutely delightful. I think the way they've been folded, these are going to just stay together. I've air fried these and they are wonderful. There's plenty of filling in there. And regardless of not folding them in a conventional way, normally you would cut your circle in half, make a cone, blah de blah de blah. I've got no hope of doing that with one hand because I can make the cone alright. There's no way I could fill it, is there? Let's face it. So, brick pastry. I'm pretty sure it's called brick everywhere. If you can't get brick, then use phyllo pastry, but you will have to do a few layers. I don't tend to use it because you have to use quite a lot of butter in it, and brick for me is the better option. This is totally and utterly vegetarian. There is nothing in there that you can't eat. There's no meat, and it is absolutely brilliant as a snack. It's not one of those things that you positively can't have. The pastry is just flour and water, and it's so thin anyway, but it is beautiful. I am so pleased with these. I really hope you have a go. I just pulled a chair up, sat down. I've got some bar stools. I sat on a bar stool and I made these. And what did I make? 16. I could have made 24 with the mix that I've done. So bear that in mind if you do try this recipe. You will have some left over. What can I say? They are a delight. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, subscribe to see me make more delicious, affordable food. Thank you for watching.